Do my makeup with me as I talk about my experience growing up with someone who was a hoarder. So basically, to start off, I want to talk about this because I feel like a lot of people keep it as something very secretive in their life, but it's okay to talk about it. As I learned as I got older, I grew up with my mom and my grandma. I lived at my grandma's house because my parents are separated, and I'm 22, so that means I grew up during like a very horrible 2010 recession in the US. My mom lost her job, etc. Moved in with my grandma at her house, but my grandma is a major hoarder. She is someone who's from El Salvador, which I think a lot of other Hispanic people can relate to the fact that their parents become hoarders due to the fact of not having very much in the countries that they come from. And so from the survival instinct, they tended to kind of hoard anything that they would get and not throw anything away. And that's kind of my grandma. But on top of it, she would actually like go out of her way to get stuff to bring back to the house, to keep it there. So basically, if we ever saw furniture on the side of the road, she would kind of pick it up with the mindset of like, I will sell it, but she like never quite would ever sell it. It would just kind of sit in the yard. And mind you, my grandma worked very hard to get this house. It was a pretty big house with a pretty big yard, meaning lots of space for things to be contained. So I grew up a lot playing in this kind of environment, and for the longest I didn't know that it was actually abnormal, and I don't know if that's something else other people can relate to when it comes to growing up with people who are hoarders, but I didn't realize that my house was different than others until I finally, maybe towards the end of elementary school, went over to other people's houses and was like, wow, their houses are like really nice and organized. But for a minute I just thought like their houses were just like really organized and mine wasn't. I know, I just didn't really think about it very much until it hit me. Like, I don't know, I just suddenly felt like very embarrassed by the fact that like I felt kind of awkward inviting anyone over if my house didn't have certain like amenities, or like the fact that like you couldn't really walk very efficiently around the house. And also, mind you, my grandma, on top of hoarding, she would rent the entire backside of her house to random strangers. So I grew up like around random strangers coming in and out of the yard, like going to the back of the house. And the back of the house was like inaccessible to me because obviously like danger. But yeah, but it was interesting growing up like that because also on top of it, I went to a school because I got in through lottery. I went to a school that was I'm from Los Angeles. It's in Bel Air, which is basically a very, 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 very affluent area. Oh my god, this foundation looks really weird in this lighting, but I swear to god it matches. A very affluent area, so you can imagine the types of homes that these